Before I go into some of the reasons that has brought me here, I'm compelled basically to do what what I would want to do, no matter what. In any case, I climb a mountain with what I'm about to give you. If just so I could reach you, because it's so important that you know um, what you don't know, and that what you find out, you want to go and go with it. Because what you don't know can't help you, and it can't show you the way to go. But if you want to, but if you, but you got to know but you got to know what I'm saying, and you have to want to put it in the plan. Okay, that's a little rhyme right there. And first of all, I've had some experiences. Um, I think about the the water, the fire, uh, yes, the water, the fire, and the earth. Okay, that's what we got in us, in our bodies. We got we have nitrates, we have neutrons, protons, electrons. Those are in us. We are something like a uh, nuclear vessel, really. That's what our bodies are like. And which is what the subject that is going to be on. We're talking about quick, powerful healing to go up against the coronavirus. And I've got all the elements of war put together. You actually have 50 billion uh, neutrons, electrons, and protons. I just those three, 50 billion, all put together. You know, uh, then when you got your atoms, they made the atom bomb out of a similar structure of it's related. I can't describe it to you, but you know that it's related. And fire and atomic energy can be used uh, to destroy, or it could be used to preserve and keep life alive and secure. And because the sun rises. If it didn't, we wouldn't make it. If the if we didn't have heat, then the birds just couldn't fly, right? That's the song said. Without love, flowers wouldn't grow in the spring, and without spring, the birds just couldn't sing. You remember that Deion Jackson song? Okay. So uh, anyway, uh, my makeup has really prepared me for now about what I'm going to tell you and what you should listen careful for. Uh, the coronavirus is a virus that inhibits, that attacks, and it's like it tries to get into your body, and it is a pesticide. It is a parasite. That's what it is. So you think of viruses. Basically, what are viruses? Almost every almost every ecosystem on Earth contains viruses. Before a cell virus exists in a form known as a viron. During that phase, they're roughly 1/100th the size of a bacterium and consist of 2 to 3 direct parts: genetic material, either DNA or RNA, and it reads that genetic material. It has a protein coat or capsid which protects the genetic information. A lipid envelope is sometimes presented around the protein coat when the virus is outside. Viruses do not contain ribosome, so they cannot make proteins. This makes them totally dependent on the host. Uh, they, but they are as a parasite, and so they, okay, they are the only type of microorganism that cannot reproduce without a host. Let's say after contacting a host cell, a virus will insert genetic material into the host and take over that host's function. After infecting the cell, the virus continues to reproduce then, but it produces more viral protein and genetic material instead of the usual cellular products. So now they have some names here. Some viruses cover themselves with modified sections of cell membrane, creating a protein lipid envelope. This includes the influenza virus and the HIV. Other shapes are included non-standard shapes that combine both helical and isochatter. I can't even pronounce that. But the human coronavirus types, named for the crown-like spikes in their surface. There are like 4 main subgrounding coronaviruses known as alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. The human coronaviruses viruses were first identified in the gamma delta. Human, let's see, so let's get by this here. I want you to describe it. In the mid-60s, they were identified. The 7 coronaviruses that can infect people are common human coronaviruses. One, the alpha coronavirus, 2290 NR, the alpha, the beta, and the other ones are called MERS CoV, beta coronas that causes Middle East respiratory syndrome, and then the SARS CoV, the beta coronavirus that causes severe acute respiration syndromes. SARS, then they had SARS CoV that came out 2019. Yeah, novel coronavirus virus that causes coronavirus disease 2019. COVID-19. People around the world commonly get infected with human coronaviruses. 229E or NL63 or OC43. Don't really know what those terms are. Sometimes coronaviruses affect animals and can and make people sick and become a new human coronavirus. The three recent examples of this are 2019 in COV, SARS, COV, and MERS, MERS, COV. Okay, now, what happens? The immune system. Uh, what happens is that. So what I come to see is that this thing can develop into a stronger state of pneumonia, and with the symptoms starting in four stages. The first is it's like a common cold, a fever, a headache, a dry cough. That's the first. The second is developing a sore throat and nasal congestions, running nose or stuffy nose feeling. The second stage is developing sore throat, nasal congestions, meaning runny nose or stuffy nose, feeling weak, malaise, probably feeling, anemic. And then it progresses to a shortness of breath in the third stage, meaning it has gotten into the lungs, causing severe inflammation. Remember that word, inflammation, inflammation of the lungs. Okay, that's a praying. That is one of their that's one of the things that puts you disables you, inflammation of the lungs. Okay, now number four, people most people will develop a superimposed term meaning bacterial or double pneumonia. Say, how does the coronavirus impact a patient's lung? Well, like many viruses, the respiratory droplets associated with the COVID-19 attached to the back of a person's throat or nose, then moves through the respiratory tract. The human body responds to viruses by trying to fight them off, which causes human body response, which causes inflammation. There's that word again, inflammation. That's where it causes inflammation. Inflammation. Once the coronavirus reaches the lungs, it causes viral pneumonia, said Dr. Maurice Turns, who detained the progression in a 15-minute video on YouTube. Pneumonia causes an inflammation in the lungs, the air sacs. So also known as alveoli, which may become filled with fluid or pus. It can be mild, but more severe cases may require hospitalization. Severe pneumonia includes the infection associated with the COVID-19, can escalate to a point and a patient develops ARDS, ARDS. Fluid buildup in the lungs prevents them from filling with air, decreases the amount of oxygen that reaches the bloodstream. And from there, that becomes fatal, and that's where most people don't survive, because your lungs stop working. They don't breathe anymore. They need a respirator, and that's where it happens. Now remember, focus on the three principles that I said uh, heat, water, and what else? Earth. So that's earth, heat, and water. Okay, now, meaning that I mean the things of the earth. You got to get the right things of the earth to combat it. Uh, and you know, uh, you have to cook them. You know, they cook medicine. That's why they call it nuclear med. They cook it, chemicalize it, pharmaceuticalize it, and why? Because it makes it probably eons of times, hundreds of times stronger. You know, it's not about preserving it. And so, anyway, so we and you know, I'm gonna get right to that. I want to name a few other things before I get in directly into that. You know, and everything. Now, see, now here is tomatoes. The three that I'm talking about, vegetable wise, I got three herbs, compound plant herbs that will go to battle with it. But here are the three ones. I say four: carrots, beets, and spinach. Okay, that's going to go to war with it. And I'm gonna tell you what it has in it. I got some testimony from carrots, beets, and spinach.